It's dangerous to be born. That's the message one is getting today. Any observations or questions? Ram.
John, thank you very much for showing some promising signs. I mean, clearly, reading your papers, the basic impression I get is the technical and technological solutions are there. We know how to govern it. We know how to pass the laws. And then California has shown each dollar spent on air pollution returned $30 back to the government. So why are we not able to take this message and this knowledge to places like India and China? Or is that being done? Do they know this is a solvable problem?
Others may be better equipped to answer experience in other countries. I mean, I agree we have very useful models, and I think we have the scientific evidence base. I mean, I think there are certainly issues that we need to understand better, like what drives particle toxicity and how we might better target sources. But I think in terms of the imperative for action, we are there. And it would be unfortunate to repeat the experience of the London fog anywhere. And I would hope that at the least that governments would be driving towards this. I would say anecdotally, I'm chairing a committee at the National Academy of Sciences, which is advising the State Department on what to tell its employees about the data now being measured at 30 different embassies and consulates. The questions we're answering are the questions that anyone would be asking in those circumstances. Is it safe to be pregnant? What are the consequences for babies? Can a child with asthma go out and play? How does one protect their family? What are the long-term risks? And I think we have the evidence base to begin to answer those questions. But Ram, I think going back, I think the issue is it the cost-benefit, cost-effectiveness analyses that will drive the policy makers? There are certainly compelling anecdotes as well.
Thanks for a great talk, but I did want to ask you about household air pollution, because you focused on ambient air pollution, yet from a public health point of view, of course, household air pollution is equally, perhaps even more important in low-income settings. And we've had, with household air pollution, it's possible to do randomized trials, difficult but possible. And the most recent one of those in Malawi, a big trial, was actually negative. It didn't show a benefit. And that was a bit surprising and disappointing to many of us. There are various possible explanations. Probably they didn't reduce the air pollution levels enough by the intervention, the clean stove intervention and so on, the design of the study. But I wondered what your view was about what we should be doing now to establish, confirm the causal relationships, which I'm sure are there, and what sort of interventions should we be doing now for household air pollution?
And I will say that, of course, we had equal complexities in interpreting the Guatemala trial done by Kirk Smith and colleagues. And I think I'll separate this question out in several ways. So one is, do we know enough about air pollution generally and its effect on child respiratory health to perhaps conclude that there is an imperative already, and we do not need to do large randomized trials that come with some inherent methodological problems and may, in the end, mislead us because of null results. So I think that's a first question. And that said, I understand that a lot of money is being spent on various interventions. From my point of view, and again, I would turn to Ram and others to comment on the question of just moving forward with substantial interventions as is occurring, for example, in India, and making the fuel changes that we know will reduce air pollution. I mean, there is, as you point out, a remarkable opportunity here for large-scale exposure reduction. And it seems to me that if we have confidence in what we were saying about the attribution of disease to air pollution, outdoor and ambient, of course, indoor contributes to outdoor substantially in some places, here is a major opportunity to move forward with fuel moves to cleaner fuels, perhaps as a leading strategy. and then hopefully, as is done in far more subtle ways in the Southern California studies, show that there are benefits.